What's going on, guys? It's Mike. Today I'm going to share all my Zettelkasten tools with you, but before I do that, a word of warning. What I'm going to talk about is not for the faint of heart. You see, I am an analog Zettelkasten troglodyte. That's right, I shun all things digital and use only physical artifacts in the construction and maintenance of my notebook. So if you can handle the raw masculine power of masticated cellulose and lamp black, then proceed. Join me on this journey. But if the thought of writing every single note by hand makes your ADD flare up, then by all means retreat to the safety of your bubble graphs. We won't laugh at you, I promise. You still with me? Let's get this thing. Come on, let's do it. All right, of course the Zettelkasten method generates lots of notes. We all know this. You get literature notes and you get fleeting notes and you get permanent notes, lots of notes. And so I'm going to start this tool review with my notebooks. Now, I use two different notebooks for my fleeting notes. That's a Leuchtturm 1917 A5 softcover with ruled pages. And I also use a Leuchtturm 1917 A6 softcover with plain pages. Now, the softcover A5 serves as my daily bullet journal. This means I use it for my to-do list, meeting notes, for scratching out whatever is on my mind as I go about my day. This thing's with me all the time, and it makes a perfect notebook for capturing fleeting notes. However, there are situations where it's not convenient to carry an A5 notebook around, like when I'm walking Izzy. In those instances, I use the Leuchtturm 1917 A6 softcover with plain pages, that smaller version. Now, as a person who makes their living with their thinking, I need a centralized place to capture ideas, things like, video ideas and essay ideas and podcast ideas. And so you're aware of this. Ideas come at the strangest, most unbidden times. So this notebook, serves as my idea repository. It just goes with me everywhere. It even sits on my nightstand next to my bed. And yes, I have been known to get up at 2 a.m. to scribble down a thought. So if Izzy and I are out for a walk and I have an aha about the Cybertruck's brand promise, I just pull out the A6 from my back pocket and start capturing. Now, I've got one more notebook to talk about. Before I get to that, let's take a break from notebooks and talk about my pens. As you may have noticed, I use two different pens. The first one has generated a lot of inquiries ever since it featured in my original Zettelkasten video, and that's the TI Arto by Big Idea Design. Now, I've used this pen for a few years now, and I just love it. I can't say enough about it. In fact, it's my everyday carry. It's made of titanium, which makes it pretty tough. The pen has a nice heft without being too heavy. It feels really good in the hand, and I just like its styling. But the big draw for me, the thing that just drives me just over the moon about this pen, is that you can use 750 different refills with this thing. 750 and more. It's crazy. And it does this with this ingenious little clutch mechanism in the tip. So respect to the designers, because this pen is the ultimate if you want customization. Now, I've experimented with different inks and line widths to find what I like best, and the TI has had no problem with the many different cartridges that I've thrown at it. Now, the other pen I use is the diminutive Der Griffel #1 by Leuchtturm 1917. I got the Der Griffel because I needed something that I could keep with my A6 notebook, something nice and small, and the Der Griffel is just the perfect size. It's good looking, it's made of milled aluminum and brass, and you can get it in multiple colors. To use it, you just kind of twist the head to reveal the tip. It uses a little spring mechanism to do that. The pen ships with a 0.5 millimeter Parker-style cartridge, which I found that line a little too sloppy. I didn't really like it. I sleuthed around a little bit and found a 0.37 millimeter replacement. It's okay. It's still not quite what I want, but regardless, the pen itself is a nice little tool, and it works perfectly with the A6 notebook. All right, having addressed my pens, let's talk about my other notebook, and that's the Leuchtturm 1917 A5 hardcover with ruled pages. This is my go-to for capturing literature notes. Now, if you haven't figured out by now, I love Leuchtturm 1917. Okay, especially their notebooks. I used Moleskines for years, many years, but as soon as I experienced the quality of the Leuchtturm's paper and its construction, I switched over and haven't looked back since. Now, I keep this notebook with whatever book I'm reading at the time, and I just make literature notes as I go. They can include concepts, ideas, observations, arguments, anything that I get from my reading. You guys know how literature notes work. Now, it does not do double duty like the A5 bullet journal and the A6 idea repository. I just strictly use this hardcover for literature notes, and I just keep it with the whatever book. So we're going to read the book. I grab the book, the notebook's right there, and I get to work. And yes, I only generally read physical books. Maybe more about that in a separate video, but I'm a physical book kind of guy. Paper, paper, paper. All right, now let's get into what I use for permanent notes, and that's the 4x6-inch ruled white note card. I find that 4x6 inches is big enough to accommodate my permanent note, any bibliographical references, links, annotations, as well as room to assign things like, the number so I can file it in the Zettelkasten. At the same time, what I love about 4x6 is it's small enough to force me to be focused and thoughtful about my note. It imposes a level of good discipline that a larger card, sheet, or digital document, you digital kids need to think about this, wouldn't do. All right, I started out buying really high quality, heavy cardstock, but I quickly realized that was a mistake, as you can't easily flip through or sort them due to how rigid they are. And on top of that, I tend to make a lot of mistakes when I write my permanent notes, so ripping up a card that costs $1 a piece is a little too pricey, even for a high roller like me. So now I just buy these really inexpensive note cards in bulk from Amazon, and they work great. They're great. Now I use one other kind of note card, and that's a 4x6-inch unruled blue note card. These act as dividers between the various sections in my Zettelkasten. They're cheap, they're easy, functional. They just help me, make a visual demarcation between sections. All right, last but not least, we come to storage. This is an easy one. I keep everything in a simple cardboard note box designed to hold, wait for it, 4x6 cards. What a surprise. Now, I only read about 10 to 15 books a year, and the resulting permanent notes don't take up a ton of space. So I'm guessing I could probably get a good 3 to 4 years out of one box. Of course, I'd like to read more, but as a hardworking, high-paid consultant, I don't have the time. Now, if I outgrow my current setup, I can always upgrade. But for now, this nice little box is just fine. I love it. You might not know this, but I've got a newsletter. I've got an email newsletter. Make sure to sign up for it. It's free. I'll leave a link in the description, and I'll probably pin a comment as well so you can get to that. But sign up. Love to have you join the community. Guys, last but not least, if you like this kind of stuff, do the thing. Like and subscribe. You know how all that works. And know that I love you, each and every one. Grateful for your time. Love you guys. And I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.